Well, I am the product of the assimilation policy having been bought in 1943. It's only recently at 67 that I get to learn from the heritage mob down here in Victoria a full accounting of my history, my forebears, going right back to 1850s and that. I now know who my great-great-greats are. I'm proud of that, knowing this. I know that I'm not a mere Koori, not a mere Aboriginal. I'm a Bunurong man from my mother's side, down there around the coast, right? And Dja Dja Wurrung man on my father's side, on my great-great side, I should say. I've only just recently learned at Christmas, 2010 Christmas, that I've found out who my old man was. And he comes from Leeton, New South Wales, so therefore I'm a Wiradjuri man too on my father's side. And knowing all this makes me, a lost child down here. I've brought myself home. I've become more complete as an Aborigine, as a blackfella. And I'm truly grateful for the heritage mob and the people working there to give me this information. I mean, I can only absorb this information at my late stage in life, after the trials and tribulations that I've had, jumping, using drugs and being a giggle juice freak and surviving that. I've had a long 3.5 decades using heroin and being one of Melbourne's worst nightmares, a cat burglar, rent collector. All this you can see in a documentary that was made about me called Bastardy. And it premiered twice in Melbourne Film Festival down here in 2008. And it's been travelling the world. If you want to ever get it to see it, you can hire it on ABC, JB Hi-Fi. But I came out of my last lag, and I came out of jail with the intention of being a leading light in my community. I saw that none of our services down here were capable of really doing anything constructive themselves in dealing with the addicted, with the homeless, and with the attending criminal behaviour from some of our people down here using drugs and drinking to excess. So I thought I'd tout myself as my local community's featherfoot, Kadocha man, lawman, Lore lawman. And this is what I truly believe I am, because I'm the definitive walking, talking role model. Everybody knows that I jumped off the methadone within less than 3 years of coming out of jail. I had an ulterior motive to clear my mind of the past and to jump off drug-sponsored maintenance drugs. I didn't think I'd be able to think real black, clearly, if I was still using Yandi even, chuff. And I had to, drop off it in order to learn, my true potential. And I'm being honoured in my community by all those suffering at the Needle Exchange for what I've done. And it tends to, to make me believe that I could be a man that worthwhile in my community to stem the tide and the plague that's consuming many of us in our community. I mean, it's very difficult for somebody with my extreme record, 22 times photographed, 22 mugshots of me are embedded in the prison files down here in Victoria. So 22 times I've been busted and done time on that. I've survived all this for an ulterior motive, I'm sure, especially now that I'm off the shit and, I'm thinking clearly. And I'd like, I have a passion to share the journey. Well, I'd like to go back into the nick. And I know that some governors down here in Victorian jails would invite me in if I had a program, my own cognitive skills program. I'd love to go in with it, but I'm not allowed to because of my criminal record and my criminal record number, 3944. So, but I'll keep on pushing. I think I could slip under the radar if I were to write letters to the Victorian governors of the prisons here I reckon I'd have a good accommodation. I reckon they would accommodate me and allow me to come in. I'd like to have a week-long session with those struggling in prison and that. I have a lot of respect in prison. I feel I'm highly honoured and respected in prison as an elder, and even though I did a crime to be in jail, normally when I'm in jail I'm a teacher in ceramics. That's my job. That was my job in jail. But since jails have now become privatised, the education of inmates has has been not the best thing. It doesn't seem worthwhile, the privateers of prisons to make any inroads in programs and that. So I know of one group down here at Wanrong Jail, the best jail I ever had, an open camp down Gippsland Way, Yarran, near Yarran Town. And all semblance of this open camp prison has disappeared. It's become a series of cottages, and it's a kind of CBO centre where the judges sentence young ones who have been busted for crimes and admit to their crimes, and they're only at the beginning of their criminal record it's called a healing place too, where they start with the help of the heritage mob and the link-up crowd. They get a full accounting of where they are in the Victorian hierarchy of clanships and which tribe they belong to. Because many of them don't know, they're lost souls, and they come out of prison. They come out of school. Or they don't complete their school. Even if they come out of school at year 12, there's nothing for them to do. Their parents don't urge them, or they're not given the opportunity of grants to further their education. They have to be exemplary people, a step above the ordinary mob. If one shines, one bright spark determines his own future and goes and gets a grant in his own right, does so well in school that he impresses the teachers, and they're compelled to give him a chop out to educate him and that. This is happening in some places, but in the majority of people that come out of schools, they come out with their year 12. What I've seen in my own community here in Melbourne, the majority of the people that come out of schools, they come out of year 12. They're not urged to do anything further with their education other than with our local, with Mission Australia. They've set up a restaurant on the Gertrude Street here, a posh restaurant where they can be trained in hospitality, but they don't...
Charcoal Lane.
Charcoal Lane it's called. I call it the White Elephant. For me it's a failed program because I don't see them getting any work after it. And many of them traipse on up to the gym a few hundred yards further up on the Gertrude Street, the Dirty Gertie Mile, and hang about there all day with nothing really to do. You can get a good meal there cooked by these young ones who have been trained at this place, and you can they're well served and well